Have you ever looked into your golden retriever's eyes and wondered, are you happy or are you lonely? The sad truth is, over 50% of dogs have experienced loneliness at some point in their lives, and many owners don't even realize it. Sometimes they'll sleep the entire day away or bark nonstop when you're gone. Sometimes they'll greet you with overwhelming joy when you return, but that excitement hides a deeper truth. The time you were gone was incredibly hard for them. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 12 clear but often overlooked signs, from subtle behaviors like changes in barking tone or excessive licking, to explosive ones like destroying furniture or following you step for step. These aren't just bad habits or quirks, they're silent cries from a heart longing for connection. If you love your dog like a member of the family, don't ignore these signs. Spotting them early and stepping in quickly can help your golden regain joy, confidence, and a sense of security. And you'll see just a few small changes in the way you interact can make your dog happier than ever. 1. Sleeping too much. You might think, well, dogs sleep a lot, that's normal, and yes, it is, but if your golden is sleeping excessively, it could be a warning bell. Sleep is a biological need, but for lonely dogs, it can also be an escape from sadness. You come home, call their name, and instead of rushing to greet you, they lift their head, wag their tail weakly, and curl right back up. Behind those tired eyes could be a hollow feeling. They don't know how to share. When loneliness sets in, dogs often move less, lose interest in daily activities, and sleep far more than usual. Don't dismiss this. It can lead to canine depression, a real and serious condition. Have you ever seen your dog sleep all day and still seem lethargic when awake? If so, pay attention, because the next sign is much louder and harder to ignore. 2. Excessive barking or howling. A happy woof when you walk in the door is adorable. But if your golden barks nonstop, howls for long stretches, and especially when there's no clear reason, this could be their way of begging for attention. Lonely barking often sounds different, longer, more urgent, and sometimes mixed with panic. This isn't welcome home. It's, I'm here, please don't leave me alone again. Over time, loneliness can turn this into a constant habit, stressing both your dog and your neighbors. Don't rush to scold them. Instead, ask yourself, am I leaving them alone too long? Can you tell the difference between a happy bark and a lonely one? Listen closely, because the next sign also involves sound, but in a more subtle and mysterious way. 3. Changes in bark or howl tone. It's not just how often they bark, the sound of their bark can reveal a lot. A lonely dog might suddenly change their vocal tone, deeper, more strained, or even whiny. Some howl more, especially at night, as if searching for their pack. This goes back to their wolf ancestors, when howling was a way to signal location and call the pack together. If your dog starts speaking differently, holding notes longer, or making unfamiliar sounds, don't ignore it. It might be their way of saying, I feel empty, I need you. Have you ever heard your dog howl and felt like they were talking to someone far away? The next sign won't come through your ears, it'll show up in their food bowl. 4. Loss of appetite or interest in food. Most Goldens charge to their food bowl like they've never eaten before, but a lonely Golden might act indifferent or even skip meals. Loneliness affects hormones in the nervous system, which can dull appetite. Imagine putting down their favorite treat and instead of wagging and digging in, they just sniff, take a few bites, and walk away. This isn't just temporary pickiness. It could mean their spirit is low. Of course, loss of appetite can also mean illness, so if it continues, see your vet to rule out medical causes. Have you ever seen your dog ignore their favorite food? If yes, pay close attention, because the next sign will show up in their footsteps. 5. Pacing Ever seen your dog walk back and forth endlessly, like a living pendulum? Pacing isn't the same as casually wandering around looking for a place to rest. It's a restless loop, like wild wolves patrolling their territory after being separated from the pack. Lonely dogs pace from room to room, as if searching for someone or something to fill the void. It wastes energy, raises stress, and often comes with whining, heavy breathing, or eyes glued to the door. Have you ever noticed the sound of your dog's footsteps when they're alone? The next sign won't come from their paws, it'll come from their tongue. 6. Excessive licking. A few licks on your hand or paw is normal, it's cleaning or affection. But when licking becomes constant, almost obsessive, it's a red flag. Licking releases endorphins, feel-good hormones, much like people turn to comfort food when sad. But excessive licking can cause skin irritation, bald patches, and create a vicious cycle. The lonelier they are, the more they lick, the more they lick, the more discomfort they feel, and that stress fuels even more licking. If your dog spends hours focusing on one spot, try swapping that time for interactive games or exercise. Have you ever heard the repetitive slurp slurp when your dog's alone? If you have, brace yourself, because the next sign might make you frustrated and sympathetic all at once. 7. Destructive behavior. You open the door, and it looks like a hurricane just tore through your living room. Sofa cushions ripped open, slippers reduced to shreds, the TV remote transformed into a chew toy. Before you get angry, think about the why. For many dogs, especially smart, high-energy Goldens, destroying things isn't just mischief. It can be a reaction to prolonged loneliness. When their energy is bottled up and their mind is understimulated, they find an outlet with their teeth and claws. The emptiness of the house without you drives them to act out just to relieve the tension. If left unchecked, this can become a fixed habit that's hard to break. Have you ever come home to a battlefield scene? If so, the next sign won't destroy objects, but it will disrupt their emotional balance. 8. Increased demands for attention. Some dogs are like magnets for your gaze, constantly pawing at you, jumping up, or trying to lock eyes with you every chance they get. While this can be naturally endearing, when it happens almost nonstop, it could be their way of filling an emotional void. These behaviors don't just happen when you're free, they happen even when you're busy, like typing at your computer or cooking dinner. This is a clear sign of a lack of consistent, secure connection. If it goes on too long, it can develop into full-blown separation anxiety. Does your dog demand your eyes even when you're clearly busy? If yes, pay close attention, because the next sign shows just how wildly their mood can swing. 9. Sudden mood swings. One minute, your Golden is curled up with their tail tucked, looking sad. 5 minutes later, they're suddenly bouncing around, zooming through the house, barking like crazy. This sudden shift from withdrawn to over the top can be a psychological reaction to struggling with loneliness. Just like humans, dogs can have emotional roller coasters, especially when separated from their main source of comfort, you. These mood swings don't just confuse you, they wear your dog out emotionally. Watch closely. Do these changes happen right before you leave or just after you come home? If so, the next sign shows what happens when loneliness reaches its peak. They won't let you out of their sight. 10. Following you everywhere, Velcro dog. You move from the living room to the kitchen and turn around to see your Golden trailing right behind. Go into the bathroom, they wait outside the door. Head to the bedroom, they're there instantly. This is classic Velcro dog behavior, sticking to you like glue. A little clinginess is sweet, but if they seem anxious every time you disappear from view, or constantly try to keep you in sight, it's likely a sign of loneliness and separation stress. For smart, affectionate Goldens, your absence leaves a hole and following you is their way of self-soothing. Have you ever seen your dog lying across the doorway as if to guard you? If so, the next sign is the complete opposite, when they vanish entirely from your sight. 11. Hiding. In contrast to shadowing you, some Goldens respond to loneliness by disappearing. They retreat to dark corners, under the bed or behind furniture, anywhere that feels safe and quiet. This is their self-protection mode when emotions become overwhelming. It's especially worrying if your normally social, playful dog suddenly starts avoiding interaction. Hiding isn't always rest. Sometimes it's withdrawal, because they can't find comfort or connection. If this persists, they may gradually lose interest in their surroundings and daily activities. Have you ever searched the whole house and found them curled up in a corner? If so, be careful, because the next sign might look like pure joy, but it's actually fueled by insecurity. 12. Overexcitement when you return. We all love a warm welcome home. But if your Golden gets wildly overexcited, jumping nonstop, barking loudly, running circles around you, even if you've only been gone 10 or 15 minutes, it could be pent-up loneliness bursting out. Yes, the joy is real, but mixed in is the tension of having endured that separation. If unchecked, this can make it harder for them to self-regulate when alone, leading to more severe separation anxiety. Notice, a typical dog will calm down within a minute or two, while a lonely one can take much longer to cool off. Have you ever stepped through the door and spent the next 10 minutes just trying to settle your dog? Loneliness in dogs is no small thing. It quietly erodes their joy, health, and even the bond they share with you. Signs like sleeping too much, constant barking, loss of appetite, pacing, excessive licking, destructive behavior, attention-seeking, mood swings, shadowing you, hiding, or overexcitement when you return are all messages that, if ignored, could cost you the chance to restore their balance. The good news? You can absolutely change this. Just by giving them more quality time, adding mental stimulation, keeping a steady daily routine, and making sure they get enough physical exercise, you can bring back that strong tail wag and bright, sparkling eyes. Remember, to your dog, you're not just their owner, you're their whole world. Don't let that world feel empty.